the Anambra. Well, you employed me to lead the process of building a livable and prosperous homeland. After swearing in on the 17th March 2022, I worked for 8 hours and 45 minutes that day and have kept working hard every day to make you proud. A lot is ongoing and we will report to you in due course. However, we recognize from the first minute that restoring peace and security will be foundational to our larger agenda as a people. We devoted several paragraphs in our inaugural speech to underscore the grave security challenges we inherited with the deadly criminal gangs largely in occupation of 8 local governments as at the time. You may recall that I was attacked by the so-called unknown gunmen while addressing youths at a rally in March 2021, leaving 3 policemen dead, and indeed hardly any candidate could campaign freely in the 7 local governments of the South Senatorial Zone in 2021. I knew the grave situation and determined to confront it. I met with the State Security Council for 3.5 hours on the first day, and there was consensus to deploy both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches as we searched for the solution. While the security agencies have been doing their best, here they are, working very hard with limited resources, we are convinced that sustainable peace and security cannot be achieved without the cooperation and solidarity of the people. Consequently, we went to work to mobilize our people and address the wider socio-economic and legacy issues fueling agitations and insecurity. We consulted, for example, we consulted and collaborated with the Southeast Joint Body of Bishops and Traditional Rulers, issuing joint statements with the Joint Body of Bishops organizing prayer sessions in the entire Southeast on the 4th of April 2022, with the goal of ending the sit-at-home and ensuring an enduring peace and security in the Southeast. We also organized Anambra Peace and Security Dialogue with the leadership of the Christian denominations, town unions, traditional rulers, youth organizations, women market, transport unions, as well as political leaders and non-indigens on the 2nd of April 2022, calling for an end to the sit-at-home and peace and security in the Southeast on April there. We offer the olive branch to all the armed youths in the forest to come out, surrender their guns, and with the commitment that our government would help to retrain and empower them to contribute positively to our development. Our government has, in our proposed revised budget, provided handsomely for the youth empowerment. The official leadership of IPOB also repeatedly issued statements dissociating itself from the senseless and destructive sit-at-home on Mondays, etc., as well as the kidnappings and criminal actions of gangs in the state and the Southeast. We set up the Truth, Justice and Peace Committee with the goal of getting to the remote and the immediate causes of the agitation and criminality with a view to proffering systematic and lasting solutions. We have severally again met with town union leaders and traditional rulers, landlords, all in the mobilization of the people for lasting peace and security. True to our commitment to engage with all state and non-state actors relevant to the search for lasting peace and security, we visited Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and he reiterated that he never authorized the senseless sit-at-home and absolved his organization IPOB from the crass criminality, especially the barbaric enforcement of the sit-at-home and the kidnappings and spilling of blood. Mazi Kanu expressed his willingness to personally address the press to charge his followers to keep the peace. Subsequently, his lawyer issued an official statement confirming this position, and his associate also addressed the media in the same vein. We have also had town hall meetings within the Anambra in Lagos and Abuja, and our people are united in their condemnation of the criminality going on in the state and environs, and demonstrated their commitment to join hands with us in solving it. The list of the public engagements is long, with even a longer list of backroom plans and actions. Despite the above, ladies and gentlemen of the press, the criminal gangs are unrelenting in their desperation to maintain their very lucrative criminal enterprise and expand their other agenda of domination. When the security agencies rooted them out of the two of their numerous camps, their reprisals were to burn down the secretariats of two local governments and to also attack police stations, police, and soldiers. Routinely, they kidnap for ransom, rape, and murder their victims, as well as burn houses and properties. They relish in shooting soft targets, including recently a poor woman frying akara in front of her house on a Monday. Over the past 1 week, the Anambra and indeed the nation have been treated to the gory stories of the kidnapping and subsequent beheading of Honorable Okechukwu Okoye, member of the State House of Assembly, and his aide, Cyril Cheboka, both from my community, Sofia, as well as the brutal murder of Mrs. Harirat Jubril from Adamawa State and her 4 children and 3 other northerners. Anambra people have been in shock. This is not who we are. Our deepest condolences are with the families of the various victims. We are working around the clock with the security agencies, and we believe by the special grace of God, the perpetrators must be brought to book. Let us be very clear. The criminals who are doing this, causing mayhem in Anambra, albeit disparate groups and gangs, are Igbos, dominantly from other southeast states, whose real objective is lucrative criminality and foisting their idolatrous religion on the region. Unfortunately, every criminal gang today, including cult groups, claims to be, quote, to be a liberation movement, unquote, making it difficult to differentiate between any genuine agitators from criminals. Unfortunately also, the criminals now dominate the space. Anambra is a prime target because that is the most lucrative location for kidnapping for ransom in the southeast. With their immense propaganda machine, funded largely by their sponsors abroad, they have tried everything to indoctrinate the people with all kinds of false emotive narratives and divert attention from their real objectives. They claim to be, quote, fighting for the people, and yet randomly kill the same people, destroying their livelihood and stopping their children from going to school. What has agitation to do with kidnapping, including kidnapping of priests of God, invasion of churches and tabernacles, including desecration of the altars of God? Why is it that everywhere they gather and in every camp they operate, there is a deity or idol to which they routinely offer blood in sacrifice? From accounts of those kidnapped and later freed, the stench of dead bodies in the camps cry up to heaven. We see videos of them and their idol worship. We note their threats to priests and bishops, including threatening to take over some churches. The truth is that this tiny minority, certainly far from less than 0.1% of us, is bent upon challenging the foundation of the things that make us who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, our people are known for a couple of things among others. The first is enterprise. We are known for our enterprise, but these people are bent on killing our businesses by the forceful sit-at-home, kidnapping for ransom, forceful taxation of communities, businesses, and individuals, etc. Christianity. The people of the Southeast, especially Anambra, are predominantly Christians. But with this gang, idolatry is back with vengeance. They forcefully try to convert people, especially the young ones, to idolatry by initiating them into cults, swearing oaths to their deities, etc., with the promise of invincibility. Consequently, these youths join them as members and as informants. Desecration of our culture. Spilling of the blood of the innocent is considered an abomination by our culture and by our Christian religion. We understand that they kill and harvest human organs for rituals and human sacrifice in their so-called camps. With their new religion of idolatry and deadly weapons, which they use to kill at random, they have tried to create a culture of fear and silence. More recently, the people have begun to question their propaganda, their motive and their means, and they know that they have lost the sympathy of the people. That explains why they desperately try to ignite a national interethnic crisis by killing some innocent northerners who have lived peacefully in our state for decades to divert attention from their criminality and then seek to rebrand themselves as, quote, defenders of the people. They have failed and will continue to fail. Millions of our people live in the north and other parts of Nigeria, and the Anambra people are known for their uncommon hospitality. In most homes in Anambra, non-indigens live happily as tenants or as landlords, pursuing their legitimate businesses, and this won't change. We pride ourselves as the light of the nation, and Anambra will continue to be a land of opportunity for every Nigerian, as well as non-Nigerians. We will continue to work hard with security agencies to ensure security of life and property in our state. Umunnem de Anambra, the hour has come for us to step up our game and take back our state. The tiny but vicious gangs that have invaded our state and terrorized us are mostly in 8 local governments in Anambra and 3 neighboring local governments in Imo State. They are in our forests, they are in our communities and houses owned by individuals. They don't come from the air and hence are not unknown gunmen. They are not unknown. They are known. You know them, but are either too scared to speak out or out of indifference. But for how long will you be silent while our people continue to be killed in the most cruel and barbaric manner? It is because we have remained ambivalent, opting to sit on the fence rather than take a stand against an obvious evil that has made a minor sore to fester so cancerously. The hour has now come, and we must rise up to take our destiny in our hands. Everyone, indeed everyone, has a role to play. While we continue to commit Anambra into the hands of God, we as a people must rise up to clean and cleanse our land. The security agencies will continue to do their part, but we, the people, must proclaim that enough is enough and demonstrate full ownership. Consequently, as complementary measures to the great efforts of the security agencies, our government has decided on the following immediate steps. 1. Once again, we are releasing several telephone numbers for the public to report any criminality or suspicious conduct. These phone numbers are managed in my office in strictest confidentiality. Call us or text, SMS or WhatsApp, and we shall respond expeditiously. The phone numbers are listed, and there are 7 of them now, instead of the earlier 2 given out some 2 weeks ago. Second, in addition to the 10 million cash reward we placed on those who gruesomely murdered Honorable Okechukwu Okoye and his aide, we are also offering a cash reward of at least 1 million to anyone who provides useful information leading to the arrest of any of the leaders or members of these criminal gangs, including those who support them financially or in kind, and all those enforcing the illegal sit-at-home order, or anyone involved in kidnapping, murder, and arson, or access to the camps where the criminals operate from. The bounty will depend upon the profile of the criminal. Their leaders will attract higher amounts. Similar bounty will be paid to anyone who gives information about anyone on location where hard drugs, especially the notorious Umpulummili, are manufactured in the state. The state government hereby assures any informant of confidentiality in this process and will not disclose your identities or contacts. These numbers, like I said, will be managed in my office very closely to me, and you can be sure of the confidentiality. With effect from tomorrow, Friday the 26th day of May, a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew is hereby placed on motorcycles, okada, tricycles, keke, and shuttle buses in the following 8 local governments: Agwata, Ihiala, Ekwusigo, Nnewi North, Nnewi South, Ogbaru, Orumba North and South local governments until further notice. We will review this and say whether we then extend it to the rest of the states. But let's start with this, if you like, the red local governments. Until further notice also, motorcycles, keke and shuttle buses are banned from operating in these local governments on Mondays until the sit-at-home completely stops. All through Monday, none of this should operate, because that's what they use to go and force their sit-at-home. The use of every community in the zone are hereby enjoined to assist the security agencies in the implementation of this policy, and they are mandated to seize any such motorcycle or tricycle on the spot. Local vigilantes should report such motorcycles or tricycles, keke, immediately, and they will be confiscated by government and the owner prosecuted as a possible suspect. The Okada, keke, and shuttle bus union leaders must take responsibility to report their members who are involved in criminal activities. We shall review this after 2 weeks, and if members of this union continue to be involved in criminal activities, the government will have no choice but to either disband the unions and or ban them outrightly in the state. The union should take responsibility. If the current trend continues, we will have no qualms banning Okada and keke outrightly in this state. 4. No part of Anambra State, house, bush, or forest shall be used as camps for these criminals. Anyone with a gun in a camp is considered a criminal in Anambra State, and the government and people will work with security agencies to flush them out. The state government shall, pursuant to its powers under the Land Use Act, revoke and acquire any land found to be harboring these criminals for public purpose. Henceforth, every community is required to provide information on any part of their land occupied by these criminals as camps. If the community fails to do so, the government will take over such land as government property. All communities are hereby charged to take over their communities completely, and through the leadership of their town unions and traditional rulers, give weekly security reports submitted every Friday to the state government on the state of security in their respective communities. The cooperation of the youths in that regard is now imperative. I charge the vigilantes of each community to rise to the occasion and contend with these criminals in your locality, whether they are in your bush or in the houses or in your community. The state government expects the report of any progress made in this regard and shall support and reward you accordingly. Any buildings found to be harboring these kidnappers and murderers who have laid siege on our state will, as provided by the Criminal Code Amendment Number 3, Law 2013, be forfeited to the state government. To that extent, all landlords are hereby directed to proceed on Operation Know Your Tenant by keeping appropriate records of their tenants and report anyone suspected of being involved in criminal activities. Each community leadership must keep full register of all tenants in their communities, their occupation, etc., and keep an eye on their activities. The state government shall, as an emergency measure, disband the leadership of any community which fails to report criminal activities in their communities or immediately respond to the request contained in this address. All market leaders and stakeholders are hereby charged to join the communities in taking back their territory and monitor the activities in their markets. They are all required to return weekly security reports to the state government. Everybody who either in person or through telephone calls demands cash support or ransom from anyone in furtherance of any criminal activities or groups should immediately be reported to the government via the telephone lines that we have provided. 9. All transporters, bus drivers, shuttle drivers, tricycle, keke, and motorcycle or Okada riders must immediately report any suspicious passengers. Because it has come to the knowledge of the state government that over 80% of transport operators use fake plate numbers and identities. All transport operators in Anambra must henceforth re-register their vehicles, tricycles, and motorcycles with their valid means of identification and their biometrics to be captured. This exercise shall immediately be commenced, and anyone who defaults in doing that after 4 weeks from today will be treated as a suspect and adequate measures taken against him or her. 10. All hotels are directed to obtain the means of identification of their guests and keep an inventory of all guests in their hotels. We'll have some sporadic spot checks. The management of the hotel should immediately report any suspicious person or persons or group of persons checking into or converging in their hotels. Immediate sanctions would attend to any dereliction in this regard, including possibly shutting down or demolition of such hotels. All fuel stations are hereby directed to, within 4 weeks from today, place surveillance cameras in their stations and to keep records generated by those cameras in order to assist the state government when required in tackling these criminals who inevitably fuel their vehicles at these fuel stations. Finally, let me urge our people to remain calm. This season shall pass. The God of Anambra assures that we shall overcome the forces of darkness. Indeed, this tough beginning foretells of a more glorious future. We thank all the stakeholders in the Anambra project, and particularly we thank the security agencies who are here for their determination and sacrifice. These security agencies sacrifice quite a lot to keep us where we are, even with very lean resources, taking great risks. And I can't say that anymore, and I can only say thank you very much, and thank you on behalf of Anambra for keeping us where we are. And they are also determined, working with them, that these criminals will be brought to book. And we enjoin our religious leaders to continue to lift up the state in prayers and to also mobilize our people as they fight evil in our land. Together, we shall take back our state and make it the true light of the nation. God bless you all. God bless Anambra State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.